Hello, everybody. Wave 3 meteorologist Brian Good here with this latest edition of Storm Talk. And as usually the case, I like to do video blogs, especially on Sundays, to kind of set up the stage ahead for the next several days. I've been off and on the air lately. I've been trying to enjoy some time off, but I'm back in the saddle for a while. So you guys will see a lot of me in the coming days and weeks. But anyway, we got a lot to talk about as we begin this new week. What a gorgeous weekend we've had, and a holiday weekend to boot. I mean, to get a north wind, I've said this many times, but to get a north wind in July, let alone in the middle of summer and period, is rare. And we have another shot of that maybe later this week coming our way. Let's get through the setup, though, for the Monday and Tuesday. That is going to be certainly the big talking point around the area. The latest look at the satellite shows just a few high, thin clouds around. Let me turn off the visible now that we've lost the sunlight and add on the radar here. You can see that things are nice and quiet. There's not a whole lot really happening in the Ohio Valley. Much different story across the Plain States. We've got a cold front that's arced itself across Minnesota and Iowa. We had a couple of tornado sightings and some thunderclouds, especially northeast areas here of Iowa. This line of showers and storms is going to get a little better organized overnight and become more of a complex of showers and storms and then race itself to the south and east. All the model data suggests this should weaken those that approaches us, but it may give us some clouds early in the day. And the further north and west you are, closer to the weakening part, you have a chance to get some raindrops out of that, but overall, it's going to be fading as it gets closer to our viewing area. We'll watch it, though, for the overnight. But this front is going to be the problem the next few days because until it moves through here, we've got a chance for showers and storms in our forecast, and it's going to be sometime early Wednesday before I think we can sound an all clear from thunderstorm activity. All right, let me break it down for you here on Futurecast. In the short term, here are the wind arrows. Notice we've got a southerly wind developing, pumping in that heat and humidity back. Now, tomorrow morning, see these little specks that are showing up? These are the leftovers of what's happening in Iowa tonight. Again, it's just going to be a band of clouds, maybe a few sprinkles. Southern Indiana, it should be just after sunrise for tomorrow. The models are not too excited, and I'm not either. But what's important about that is it's going to leave a boundary behind somewhere in this area of Southern Indiana, very close to Evansville. And at that point, storms will react to that boundary when the sun hits it in the afternoon, and that is where the storms will redevelop. And now, again, this is just a radar estimate of where the storms will pop tomorrow afternoon. They could easily be back further to the north. They could be more to the west, around Litchfield. We don't know that for sure, but we know that somewhere in this general area, wherever that boundary stops from the storms in Iowa and redevelops tomorrow, is going to be the focal point for tomorrow afternoon's activity. Nevertheless, storms will develop pretty rapidly. They could be actually cellular, supercellular originally when they first pop on the radar. If they are, hail will be the main threat right away, along with some very heavy rain. Tornado threat is not very high in this kind of a setup, but I wouldn't rule it out. You can get these individual cells that can rotate briefly. You can get some small tornadoes. This is not a tornado outbreak scenario or even a severe weather outbreak for tomorrow. But there could be some warnings out of this. We'll watch it. Tomorrow afternoon, notice the clock is at 5:30, give or take an hour or two, but that is the general time frame. They'll fall apart as we get into Monday evening as we get into sunset. Now, because of this chance tomorrow for severe weather, the Storm Prediction Center has outlined Southern Indiana and Northern Kentucky for the slight risk. And again, it's going to be mainly our southern area here of Indiana. We're going to be watching for the storms to develop and push to the east. And then once they get down to here, it'll be sunset, and they should weaken. That's why you're not included at this time in this severe risk. But I have to caution you guys, from Litchfield to E-Town, if the storms pop a little further to the south tomorrow afternoon, then we're going to have to push the slight risk much more to the south to include all of Kentucky if that does develop. And I would not rule that out just yet. So it's something we're watching for Monday. Now, let's get into Tuesday. Storms fade away Monday night. Tuesday, the front is still not through here. Notice we still got a south wind moving through the area. So the front is still north of us. So showers and storms will develop, and then the same problem we're going to have Tuesday. We don't know how much cloud cover we're going to have or any rainfall Tuesday morning, as always the case this time of the year. If you start off cloudy and rainy, that pretty much limits your chance for severe weather for the afternoon. Kills it, in fact. If you start off sunny, you have a higher chance to see some severe weather breaking out in that area, and we don't know that answer. But at some point Tuesday, showers and storms are really going to blossom again, especially across Kentucky this time, because the front should be closer to southern Indiana at that point in the day on Tuesday. And then notice the wind arrows, they shift around to the northwest on Wednesday, except for our southern counties. It's more due west. The front may get stuck right across here. If that is the case, then we're going to have to keep the rain chances intact for our southern counties through Wednesday. Right now, I've got a slight chance in for that possibility. I would say if you're north of the parkways, Wednesday, you should be drying out and should be okay. But the front location on Wednesday is going to be key there. We'll keep an eye on it. But nevertheless, Storm Prediction Center has placed us again in a slight risk of severe weather as we into Tuesday. Same scenario. It's just the front just a little further to the south, so the northern areas get cut off. But we'll watch Kentucky, especially for Tuesday, for severe storms. Do want to mention Nirgurai, which is the super typhoon, same thing as a major hurricane. Hurricanes are all the same across the globe. They just different oceans give them different names. We call them hurricanes in the Eastern Pacific and the Atlantic. In the Western Pacific, they call them typhoons. In the Indian Ocean, they're cyclones. And in some cases, when you head down toward Australia, they call them willy willies. Anyway, Nirgurai is actually heading off to the north of It's a major, major system by all means. And it is forecast to track right over the southern part of Japan as a Category 3. So it does weaken a little bit, but it's heading right toward Okinawa as it tracks to the north and east, and then the west side of Tokyo. It'll be the heavy rain and surge issues here and flooding for Tokyo, certainly. Even though it is weakening, still could be causing big problems for areas of Japan. For those who have friends and family, especially the military bases out there, we'll keep an eye on that for you. All right, back here at home, let's talk about the temperature profile the next several days. It does look like we're going to try to keep things on the cool side later this week as that front gives us some relief Wednesday and Thursday. The heat tries to build back in for the weekend, but I think by Sunday, another front moves through, knocks us back down, and then as we get to the 16th, the heat tries to build back in. Here's the thing. We've had constant cold fronts after another coming through the Ohio Valley. So every time the Bermuda High, which sits out here near Bermuda in the Atlantic, it's trying to build west. It always does in the summer. And tries to take a hold of the eastern part of the country and just builds heat like crazy in through here, and it forms hurricanes, and then hurricanes go around the Bermuda High, and if the high is far enough west, they go right up the Gulf of Mexico and become Gulf of Mexico hurricanes. The Bermuda High is key on hurricane development in the summertime, and it's key on our heat that we have. Well, the Bermuda High just keeps getting a beat down so far this summer. Every time it tries to stretch its legs in our direction, here comes a cold front, beats it down, and we get nothing as far as the high heat. I don't think anyone's going to be complaining about that, but nevertheless, that's kind of what we're facing so far this summer. All right, so the breakdown. 2 days of severe weather potential here for Monday afternoon. Again, Tuesday, Wednesday, mainly south. The front gives us some relief. The temperatures are not going to be as dramatic of a drop as we saw on the 4th of July, but it is going to be slightly cooler, and it will be less humid as we into Wednesday, Thursday. Then Friday and Saturday, we build the humidity back in, and I think thunderstorms will come back into play for the weekend as well. So overall, kind of a half and half week. The first half this week is going to be the stormy part. The second half doesn't look too bad. So we'll be here watching this severe weather potential. Again, not an outbreak scenario. This is just going to be some heavy storms rolling through here. Placement and timing is going to vary. Be patient with us on this. We're going to have to keep you updated on a day-by-day basis. It's nearly impossible for me to say this far in advance, the exact time, but at least you have a general idea now of what we're facing the next couple of days. I'll see you tonight coming up at 11.